Welcome to section 6, where we're going to be adding more features to the game. In this section, we're going to learn how to persist the game score so that the user can see the last score on the start scene. We're going to add a new danger ball that the cat must avoid. We're going to learn how to create blink effect that will show when the cat touches the danger ball. We're going to give 3 lives to the cat so that if a cat touches the danger ball, a life is lost. And finally, we're going to modify the update function to end the game when all lives are used. Persist data, show last score. In this video, we're going to save the game score when the game is over, and then we are going to show the last score on the start scene. Saving a simple data type is quite straightforward. We're going to be using the user default class, which I'm sure you must have used many times. Let's go to the update function where we're going to be writing this code. So what we want to do is, before we call the present game over scene or invalidate, we want to save the scores. So we can simply say user defaults dot standard dot set. So we want to set a value for key. The value we want to save is an integer type. So, and that will be the scores variable. And then we want to give it a key. So I'm going to give the same name for the key, which is scores. That's all we need to do on the screen. So this means that whenever the game is over, we are saving the scores value. So then we need to go to the start scene where we're going to write a little bit of code. So let's add a function here, func add score label. So we're going to call this function inside the didMove function, which is at the top here. So we have the didMove function. So let's call the function, and then we're going to create the label. Let scores label equals to skLabel node. You can initialize it without giving it any properties, and then we want to set some of the properties of this score label. So score label dot font size, I'm going to set that to 30, and then scores label dot position, I want to put it in the center of the screen. So that will be CG point, and for the X and Y will be self dot size dot width divided by 2, and the Y will be self dot size dot height divided by 2. And let's set the font name as well. Scores label dot font name, and I'll set that to Arial. And then let's set the font color. Scores label dot font color, I want that to be black. And finally, let's add the label. That will be score label. If we run the code, we're not going to see anything because right now we don't set any text for that label. So the text we want to set is actually the user default value for the scores key. So let's say scores label dot text. That will be user defaults dot standard dot integer for key. So let's provide the key that we did previously, and that will be scores key. But because this is going to return an integer, but our text is a string, so we need to format the text like that, paste that inside. So now let's run the game and see what we have. It shows us 0, and the reason why it shows us 0 is because we haven't played any game. So, but let's add a text that says last score. So because we haven't played any game, we have it showing as 0. But as soon as we play a game, he's going to save it. So let's play a game. And in fact, we need to disable the show physics as well, so that we're not seeing the, okay. So we have score 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's end the game. And if we should run the game again, we should see a 7. So last score was 7. So this is how you persist simple data in your game, such as integer, a simple string, using the user default class. In this video, we saved the game score using the user default class and showed the score on the start scene.